Next, we have a special recognition, the 2019 Chartwells Farm to School Mini Grant Award. Dr. Swift.
Thank you, Madam President and trustees, members of the community. Ms. Jenna Bacalor is coming for a recognition that we do in June. And it is of our Farm to School mini grants. I want to give a big shout out to all of our teachers and staff who work across this district on our gardens. You may not realize it, trustees, but we now have 23 gardens in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. That number is going up every year. Just in 2012, we were at fewer than 10 gardens. So you can see that we've made dramatic progress over recent years. Ms. Bacalor is going to introduce some guests and help everybody know who's here to celebrate our progress with gardens. This year marks 5 years of the School Garden Mini Grant Program. It is a wonderful way to support our expansion of the gardens. We know that school gardening has positive social, academic, and health benefits for our students and certainly our staff. I follow several of our school garden rock stars. I'm sorry, do I need to change? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, maybe we're there. I'm sorry for that. I follow several of our school garden rock stars on Twitter, and I think several of them are here tonight. Hi. And so Ms. Bacalor is going to do the introductions. We're so proud of the progress with school gardens, and we're very grateful to our partners Chartwells who fund these grants every year for 5 years running, and we've been able to make progress partly as a result of these funds. And so with that, Ms. Bacalor, Executive Director of our Community Division, is going to share more details and introduce folks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, trustees, and good evening, trustees, and Dr. Swift. It's great to be here sharing, again, this great news about our school garden mini grants. This year's a little different because instead of coming to you early in the spring and then we have the check presentation, this year I have pictures to show you of the gardens that were actually installed this spring. I would like to introduce one of the co-chairs of the Farm to School Collaborative, who is sitting right behind me, Neha Shah. She's a 4th grade teacher at Burns Park. And I would also like to introduce, and maybe we can get a photo opportunity afterward, Mrs. Nicole Lemon from Huron High School and Luke Hurley, a student at Huron High School.
So let's have them stand.
They can stand.
Yeah.
We also have our management staff from Chartwells sitting in the far back corner. There's Tiffany and our other phenomenal Chartwells staff. All right. So as Dr. Swift mentioned, this is the 5th year of funding for Chartwells to provide this for our school gardens. There's been $6,500 awarded and 10 gardens have been funded. And we're really proud on the Farm to School Collaborative is the group that uses the process to determine who gets funding. And we're really proud that we've funded elementary, middle, and high school, and the preschool as well. The process for awarding the grants is been pretty much the same from the beginning. There's an open application period, and staff at any level of the school district can apply. Oftentimes they're applying with parent volunteers. The Farm to School Collaborative sometimes has a focus. So the first few years of the grant, we were looking at new garden installations. And recently we've also looked at when can we fund gardens that are established that could offer different types of tastings for students to try food grown. We use the TRIGO decision analysis to make the decision. And then the Farm to School Collaborative provides ongoing support, which is really important. We can just put in the garden, but of course, as the generations move through schools, they need support, training, consultation, and additional resources. And I'm very grateful to Neha for being a mentor to new school gardens throughout the district for several years. Yay! This year there were 3 awardees: Clague Middle School, Huron High School, and Pattengill. And I'll just go through them pretty quickly. So Clague is going to restore their greenhouse, and this is a before picture. And in the fall, if you want me to, I can bring an after picture. But they're working with facilities, and they're going to restore it so that students can be growing fruits and vegetables. They're looking at doing things like holding farmers markets with the food that's grown in the school and offering tastings as well. Michelle Wilkins, a 4th grade teacher at Pattengill, got very inspired to install a garden this year, and she did. It's really beautiful. She had others on her team were a 3rd grade teacher, the librarian at the school, and the school social worker. If you go by Pattengill, take a look at this beautiful enclosed garden, which is great because I don't know about where you live in Ann Arbor, but I'm completely overrun with bunnies where I live. So, having that fencing structure can be very helpful. Michelle had a really great goal for her garden, which is to increase students' sense of belonging and connection to the school, and connect the gardening to their study of plants and decomposers, and enhance their study of nutrition and healthy eating taught in the health unit. There's some fun pictures. And now let's talk about Huron High School. This is a really special garden that went in this year. As I mentioned, Mrs. Lemon and Luke Hurley were involved in this and had a really grand plan for it to build a pretty large size garden outside the science wing at Huron, connect that garden to the culinary arts program at Huron, as well as the science curriculum. So this has school-wide support and involvement. And I'm going to share a couple pictures. All of these are pictures that Luke shared with me. So you can see what it started off as, just a big blank spot next to the school. I asked Luke before this meeting started, this appears to be a totally student-built garden, and it mostly was. There were, he said that there was a teacher or another adult there for safety reasons, but really you'll see in the upcoming slides, students obviously enjoying the process of putting the soil in and planting, and they did some unique design work with their beds. And there really is not a thrill like putting a plant in the ground, as these students are really demonstrating. Here's a picture of the whole group and a bird's eye view of the completed garden. And I think it's important to note that besides Chartwells, there were others who supported it either financially or with in-kind resources. And this is something special about the Chartwells funding, actually, that often it's kind of the seed money, and I just intend that pun all over the place. It's seed money that brings in other resources. So a small group of people at a school have an idea. They want to put in a garden. They know they can get this pretty small amount of funding, but that helps them get more funding and more supplies. So we're very grateful to Chartwells for this ongoing commitment. And I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.